I think the universe has been trying to tell me that maybe I should be making stickers as well. Hi, my name is Miranda Maslany. I'm an illustrator, graphic recorder, and abstract artist based in Vancouver, BC. So today I've got a collection of mostly my abstract work. I do a lot of colorful acrylic artwork, and I'm also an illustrator, so I do pen and ink. But in my day-to-day, I'm a digital illustrator and graphic recorder, so that means that I'm working mostly with clients. So the work that I'm bringing to the Under 100 show is mostly personal work that I'm doing where I'm just getting to have fun and experiment. So I'm either doing the super colorful abstract or mostly the black and white illustration work. At some point I sort of hope to combine them and see how those styles might merge together, but that's still to come. I've always loved art. I've always been making things, and whether it's out of cardboard boxes when I was 5, with my sister, or I used to make bead lizards and sell them to all my friends and family. So I've always been creative and loved doing that, and I have a lot of artists and creatives in my family, all in very different fields, a jewelry designer, in theater, in music. My mom's a graphic designer. My granny was a painter, a landscape painter. So there's a lot of creative energy around. But I actually didn't pursue school for art. I went into the social sciences and the nonprofit sector, so I've sort of circled back on my own to the art world, and it's been a really rewarding process to sort of figure out my style, what types of work I like to do, and what sort of lights me up and keeps me going. How do I start a work? It depends. I have a couple different approaches. Sometimes I'm up all night thinking about a piece or a series, and so I'll go in knowing the exact colors and approach I want to do, and sometimes I'm just putting a bunch of canvases out on the table or an easel and just kind of seeing what comes to me. I do like having some structure even with abstract work because parameters make it easier to kind of see the finish line, but always giving myself some flexibility. And I was saying earlier that I tend to name my pieces at the end because when I name them at the beginning, I almost create too many parameters for what the sort of end feel of the painting is. So that's usually what comes together more at the end. Depending on the name that you choose, people tend to look at the pieces a little bit differently. So we've got, like this one is blueberry jam. And I feel like all of a sudden that kind of changes the feel of it. This one is called Cozy Weekends. And this one is called Nice to Meet You. I think with this one in particular, I was like, oh, I saw it as sort of like a welcoming piece that you'd have maybe like in your front hall. This one's Springtime Memories. So I just like to have a lot of fun and play with them. A piece that sold really well last year, a series that sold really well last year had a black background and color, and I had that name in mind for like so long, and it was If Dust Bunnies Had Hidden Sandcastles. And I want to do more names like that because it sort of invokes this idea that there's a story behind it, but it also is so open-ended that then people's minds naturally start turning of like, oh gosh, like where would this story go? And then that's a conversation they can have when they've got it in their homes and ask other people like, yeah, where would this story go? So I really, really love that aspect of things. The show last year was awesome. I think I sold about 21 pieces, and I just got to meet so many cool artists and learn so much about my own process. I think I got a sense of what people liked. There was a really big interest in the pieces I did with the black backgrounds and the colors, like this one up here. But I think the reason for that is the colors are so vibrant, and so it just allows them to pop in a different way. So I've been experimenting more with that style as well. So I'll be having more pieces like that in this upcoming show. But also, I think I just figured out what works for me. So through creating all of these pieces, I realized, for example, with these pieces, this series is called Midnight Snacks, and about half of them sold at the show last year. But most of this is created with like heavy body acrylic, whereas I realized that I wanted something a little bit like more like malleable and easy to work with. So I've been using more of the fluid acrylic this year, which is kind of more like playful and easy to create a sense of movement. And I think maybe because I'm also an illustrator, liking to have those very fluid lines has been really nice. This show has really been able to accelerate where I wanted to be as an artist. So I've gotten to push myself in terms of my style, in terms of how big I'm working. And last year, after the show, someone reached out and asked to do a commission. So I've now done my first commission, and it was a very large painting. I'd never worked that big before. It was 4 by 5 feet, and it was a lot of fun to create work at that scale. So hoping to do more of that. For this show, I would say that the work is going to be about 60% abstract work, so some of the work you're seeing behind me. Then I'm also going to be doing a lot of the pen and ink black and white pieces. So like these are some examples of the frame pieces that I'll have, and I'll be doing some greeting cards as well. This piece right here is one of my newer pieces. There's going to be 6 of these, still unnamed. So, but I've something about me and color. I'm very specific color, and last year a lot of my pieces were like very turquoisey, teal, pink, with pops of yellow. And in the past year, I've been falling in love with like dark forest green, and so you'll start to see more sort of the teal and the forest green mixing with this series, and potentially some larger pieces as well. I realized I also never use purple in my artwork, so I'm curious to see if that's something that will change. I'm open to like a little pastel, like a little violet, but not sure whether that's going to make it in. But yeah, this is the newest series I'm working on. With abstract in particular, there's this sort of problem solving where once you put paint down, you're constantly looking for ways to balance the piece. And so every time you add a mark, you're looking for how is that going to be complemented in another area of the piece. And then something I do a lot is, and my artist friends that do more realistic work were like, oh, I'm so jealous of this, but I can literally flip my painting upside down and keep working on it. And then sometimes you get more interesting kind of like paint strokes that are at angles that you wouldn't do with when it's right side up. So that's something I really love to do. And then with the illustration work, a lot of the inspiration for that came from when I was a lot younger. I did like one calligraphy class that a family friend taught us, and it was me and my mom. We just went to her studio for the day, and she explained the importance of, you know, when you're doing calligraphy, the upstroke is quite light and then the downstroke is heavy, and so you get this effect of this variation of line work. And as I began to develop my illustration style, I started picking up a lot of brush pens. So the variation of line work is something that's really important. So some of these pieces, like this one I did with a brush, and then these ones down here I did with Copic markers. So as I'm continuing my work, I'm sort of still playing with the type of inks that make the most sense for my original pieces, and I'm excited to see. It's funny because when I've posted these on Instagram, people have said, oh, I love your stickers, but in actuality, I've never actually made stickers to date. So it sort of begs the question, maybe I should start. But I just sort of love that they're standalone and can kind of float, and I've been able to, you know, I can put 2 of them in a frame if I want, and it gives me a lot of flexibility. I think in the past year, my confidence has grown, and also my sort of sense of direction around what's possible for my artwork, because I'm primarily an illustrator and I love doing that work. That's like my dream job. I sort of assumed that the abstract work would be a little bit more in the background and more of a hobby, but through doing the Under 100 show and just having my work exposed to more people, I've been sort of building more confidence to consider where it could potentially go. I always said to friends a couple of years ago that my dream was to be able to sort of push my primary interest into my day job, which is illustration, and then have Fridays be my abstract art day, and then I would perform stand-up comedy in the evenings, because that's my that's another area of work that I do. But and I'm kind of there. I mean, I don't paint only on Fridays. Maybe that was a bit too prescriptive, but it's kind of funny because right now I have like an L-shaped desk where I do my illustration work, and then I've sort of added this table on the right side. And if you're doing a Zoom call with me, you can kind of see like this painting will be kind of like peeked into the corner of the screen. But for me, when I'm working, I'll kind of look this way and be like, oh, I should just tweak that painting real quick. So if I have a week where I really need to focus on other projects, I have to literally put the painting away because it's too exciting. I'll just want to paint. And once you start painting, like, you can end up going for, it's hard to stop. So yeah, learn that the hard way. Yeah.